Ross Caldew. I'm from Geomatic Technologies. I'm one of the business managers here, and we are going to cover off just a brief introduction to Visual Fusion. So the outline that I've planned for today is really just to talk a little bit about Geomatic Technologies and who we are. Then I'd like to cover off the what's and the why users of Visual Fusion, and then get to see a little bit of colour and movement with a couple of live demonstrations of the product, and then we'll have some time for some questions and answers after that. So we'll be certainly looking forward to your input. So just off from the outset there, Geomatic Technologies, we're an Australian company. We're based in Melbourne, but with offices in Brisbane, Canberra, Sydney, and North America. We're an ISO accredited company, and we've been accredited since 1995 when we started, effectively starting as a data capture organisation. And that's one of the things that we do quite a bit of, but we also do quite a lot of enterprise application development as well. So we're well versed with the requirements of quality and data management, as well as visualization. So just to expand on that a little bit further, so I guess if you were to look at Geomatic Technologies and what we do, we can try and summarise it with 5 key activities. So we deliver enterprise spatial solutions, and some of those are web-based mapping solutions, some of them are desktop solutions, primarily for data management, data access, distribution of data as well, and we've been doing that for quite some time. Within the mobility space, we've been operating mobile solutions for over 15 years and providing those out into large organisations who have a requirement to embed mobile solutions into workforce management and their ERP solutions. So we've certainly cut our teeth on that and spent many years perfecting a robust enterprise solutions. The asset mapping and condition monitoring is an ongoing operation around field access, and you can see some screen grab there from some laser profiling that we've certainly done for some corridor mapping that we've done. Our consulting services are quite active as well, and so we're seeing a lot of growth in the spatial data infrastructure area, and we're providing through our consultancies lots of solution designs in that space, and certainly in the spatial field. And lastly, our IT managed services. We have over 120 servers under management that we host for a number of customers, some of those government, many in the private sector, and so we've got all sorts of service level agreements in terms of managing those as well. So a lot of our customers are very keen on that particular offering around having a solution that's actually hosted outside of their organisation, and we can provide a high level of support for that. So we've got full support desk activities around that. So to the topic of today, so Visual Fusion is a business intelligence software product that unites data sources. As you can see there, it's actually authored to produce a number of different formats there, and you can see some of the interactive mapping types there. It's from a company called IDV Solutions that are based out of the US, and a web-based solution using Silverlight or Flash, which allows typically non-GIS customers to deliver a high level of visualization and usability in their solutions. And so we're seeing lots of government enterprise solutions using this in order to try and bridge gaps with their current spatial tools, as well as the rest of their business applications. It sits on a platform, predominantly a Microsoft platform, which is a Windows Server, SharePoint, if you wish to go that far, Bing Maps for some visualization, and also SQL Server, but it also will talk to other spatial data sources as well, and I'll go into that in the next slide. So this diagram really illustrates how existing data sources and services that Visual Fusion can consume, either as business feeds or as data feeds, or even just services. So for example, you may wish to use Bing Maps web services for geocoding or routing, and you may wish to incorporate that into your solution, where you may want to take an Excel spreadsheet with some address data in it and then use a geocoding service like Bing to position that on the map. Some of the key data feeds that we're seeing customers interested in positioning their data on the map are around the SharePoint lists. So whether it's a Word document library or an Excel spreadsheet or PDF, And also we're seeing its integration into spatial databases such as Oracle Spatial, SQL Server Spatial, and proprietary formats like ArcSDE. So there's a connector for ArcSDE, which our customers are using as well. I guess the exciting part for most people who are operating in a Web 2.0 world is the ability to be able to consume OGC feeds or text-based GRSS feeds, which are streaming in from the outside world. And Visual Fusion allows that quite simply, and I'll demonstrate that in the demonstration coming up. So I put this up as an example of how spatial data can exist as a different form. So it's not always points, lines, and polygons. It can actually be a position of a report, and that report could be a Word document, or it could be an Excel spreadsheet, which is talking about air quality points. So most data within a business has only a limited spatial reference, and some of those spatial references may exist within the body of that data, for example, a Word document that makes reference to a site. So those candidates can be referenced within the system to provide a visual entry into the business information being recorded about key locations and assets. So, for example, you may need to try and quickly evacuate a site, and knowing where the instructions or the manuals or other key business documentation around that exist, by having those geo-referenced can provide a lot of value to the business. I provide this example because a lot of people think of mapping as being very much a world-scale type of activity, but you can operate down at the facility level. So Visual Fusion allows you to take things such as point-based data sets, in this case where you're looking at buildings and then the attributes around those, including the number of occupants and the floors, as well as things like the number of security cameras, and being able to go and click on that security camera to see a live feed of what may be in the server room, or even clicking on another feed which may draw from another technology like Microsoft's PhotoSynth, which is a tool that allows you to capture imagery from a standard camera and then have that information all referenced and build point clouds of itself. So you can actually do walkthroughs of buildings just off standard still photographs. So another discussion for another time, I'm sure. The mobile solution that comes with Visual Fusion, so if you are running a fleet of iPads, if you like, you may wish to use an HTML5 version of Visual Fusion, and there will be an actual iPad application scheduled for release in the next quarter from IDV Solutions. So mobile users of Visual Fusion are well covered with the deployments.